If I had the option for two cars, I'd definitely get a Model 3 Highland for fun. All right, how's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the FITITGUY. So I have here my 1 week review of the Model 3 Highland. Again, got this car from Tesla Princeton just about a month after I got the Model Y Juniper. Figure with the tax credit plus the referral credits I had and some other discounts, loyalty discount, felt like a good option. This is a replacement car for my brother and my dad. They sold their car and sprung up for this. I really convinced them about it to switch over to the Tesla family. I've been convincing them since my first Tesla I got, which was my 2020 Model Y back in 2023. And I can tell you one thing for sure, they definitely do not regret it. They fall more and more in love with this car every day. So I have some pros and cons I want to share about me driving this car, and I have a lot of pros and cons of things that my dad said about him driving the car since he's been driving it mainly for the past week or so. I've just driven it a little bit here and there. So let's go ahead and get started. So there's just a couple intriguing facts I've noticed about the Model 3 Highland, the rear-wheel drive model specifically, which is what this one is. This is the long-range rear-wheel drive US model. A little bit different than the long-range rear-wheel drive model of the new Model Y Juniper. So with this, you actually don't get carpet floor mats, unless they just didn't give it to us. It does not come with that. And the Model Y Juniper, with the rear-wheel drive model, you do get carpet floor mats. Another thing is you get the base audio. You do not get the premium audio with the long-range rear-wheel drive of the Model 3. The Model Y Juniper, you do get the premium audio no matter which option you choose, if you get the rear-wheel drive or the all-wheel drive. Again, there is no standard range version of the Model Y Juniper. There is also, they did sell a standard range version of the Model 3 Highland in the US for 2024. However, for 2025, they did not do that. These are just the first things I noticed when picking up the car, things that the car did not come with that my rear-wheel drive Model Y Juniper came with. Also, the car did not come with the mobile connector. The new Model Y Juniper did come with it. I know at some point a couple years ago, Tesla did stop including them. Originally, I know on the original Model 3s and Model Ys and other cars, and the S and the X, they did include the mobile connector. I think they stopped sometime around 2022 or 2023. So they don't include it with the 2025 Model 3 Highland, but they do include it with the 2026 Model Y Juniper. So that's just another thing you should know if you are looking into getting one of these cars. If you don't already have home charging and you were going to be relying on the mobile connector, make sure you have one on hand before you pick up your car so that you have a way to charge your car other than going to a supercharger or a level 2 charger somewhere else. So it did actually come with a CCS adapter, which is great. So at least you do have a way to adapt to using a level 2 charger somewhere else. If you're using a ChargePoint or Volta or whatever other charging system that's not Tesla, it does come with the charging adapter. And the other thing we noticed from the pickup day, which I had in my delivery day video, is that there is a slight dent on the hood here. It's very subtle, very small, but it is there. Tesla acknowledged it when we picked up the car. They said to schedule a service appointment. We did. However, the soonest service appointment at the Princeton location was 34 days out. So we picked up the car in August and we have an appointment October 3rd. So that's something to think about as well. Depending on your location, you may have long service center wait times if there is an issue with your car. However, something like this is easily fixable for them. My honest thought is that they're going to replace the full hood itself, which is not a bad thing. I mean, you get a new hood after driving it for a month. That way, if you do get any rock chips, you have a brand new hood. I think that's what they're going to do. On my first Model Y, which is my 2020 Model Y, I received it with scratches on the outsides of the front bumper. And what Tesla did was they set up an appointment for me and they gave me a brand new front bumper basically. So what I did from that point on was I had paint protection film installed on that front bumper. I'm still debating it for my new Model Y and for this Model 3. If I am going to do paint protection film, I'm going to do it myself. It is pretty challenging, but I just don't feel like spending the money on paint protection film. It is quite expensive to have an installer install it for you. Just the hood is about 600 bucks. The front bumper is another 600. So if you're getting just front coverage, you're looking at close to, $1,500 to $2,000 depending on where you go. So it's one of those things like, is it worth it? Again, this is a lease. So now that we got the original pickup and delivery stuff out of the way, I'm going to go into the pros of the car, followed by the cons of the car. So pros. First things first, it's just a beautiful car. Look at it, super sporty. Tesla really nailed it with the design. I felt like the original Model 3 looked more like a Porsche style design, the way the hood and the trunk was, hatchback style. Same with a little bit of the rear of this car, but the front of the car looks a little bit more Japanese than the previous Model 3 and Model Y. However, it's not a bad look at all. It's definitely different for Tesla. It's very sporty looking, especially from the side. You have a great, nice sporty look to the car. The car is very low. Again, this is just the base model, long range, rear wheel drive. The car is super low. It has a low center of gravity. It handles amazing. My Model Y Juniper handles great. This handles amazing. Really, you can just kind of kick it. You take whatever turn you want and the car just handles it. Again, this isn't even the all-wheel drive or the performance model. This is just the rear-wheel drive, which you would think, okay, it's gonna lose traction at some point. The rear is gonna kick out. The rear just doesn't kick out. In my Model Y Juniper, I can get the tires to screech, you know, if I take a turn fast enough. On this car, I just haven't taken, I'm taking turns faster than the Model Y, and the tires aren't screeching yet. So there's that. The car just takes any turn and makes you feel like a lot better of a driver than you actually are. Especially with the traction and stability control that Tesla has in all their cars. This car just feels amazing. Again, because it's so low to the ground, it weighs a few hundred pounds less than the Model Y. So it just feels so planted and feels amazing. It is super fast. It's a few seconds faster, 0 to 60, than the Model Y Juniper rear-wheel drive. However, it is about a second faster than the first generation Model 3, 0 to 60 for the rear-wheel drive. So it feels plenty fast. It gets great range, really. It'll pretty much get the 357 estimated EPA range driving around town and driving on the highway. It gets about 30 to 40 watt-hours per mile less usage than my Model Y Juniper on average. The Model Y Juniper rear-wheel drive is rated for the exact same range as the Model 3, but the Model 3 is just way more efficient. I'm using much less watt-hours per mile on all of my drives, so I think it not only reaches the EPA estimate, but it'll actually exceed it, depending on your driving, of course. If you're driving highway over 75, 80, 85, you're gonna really increase your usage and decrease your efficiency. But around town here, local highways and stuff like that, it is killing the estimated EPA range. It is that good. We've known Teslas to be very bad at reaching the exclaimed range that they advertise. Usually it's about 15 to 20% lower than what they advertise, depending on your driving, of course. But with these new models, they've really done very well. The cars are just that much more aerodynamic and efficient. So just getting in the car here, we can see I do have to duck a little bit. I'm 6 foot, 240 pounds. I do have to duck, but I do have a good amount of room in the car. So this is the easy entry. If I put it into drive, one thing I did notice was that I actually had to recline my seat more because I like to sit pretty upright in the car. And when I do, my head is actually already higher than the side bolsters here on the pillar. So I would actually hit my head on the pillar if I was getting in and out of the car. But I'm about this much distance from hitting my head on the glass roof. And you know, with bumps and stuff, it just feels pretty claustrophobic because I have so much of the sun visor in my view. So what I found that I had to do was I had to actually recline the seat and come a little closer to the wheel to feel like the seat goes down lower, because the seat actually doesn't go down as low as I thought. You know, I've had a Porsche Boxster before and I felt more comfortable in that height-wise, but again, that was a convertible. So legroom-wise, I do have tons of legroom. I'm pushed up pretty far forward, but I can go all the way far back like this. And you can see just how much legroom I have. If nobody's in the back, I can pretty much have my legs out straight. Again, I'm 6 foot, 34-inch inseam here. So this is a very nice amount of legroom. So I've seen people comment on some other videos saying that they're 6'5" and they own a Model 3 and they're driving very comfortably. So the only knock on it I have space-wise is the height, is how low the seat goes itself. So like I said, I had to recline the seat to get my head to feel in a comfortable position where the visor isn't too much of my top view of my eyes. Otherwise, it's about the same as the Model Y. My knee does kind of touch, the side of my leg does touch the center console here to rest on it. But my knee and my leg aren't hitting the screen. So that's a good thing. I noticed switching back and forth from the 3 to the Y is that the screen is further away from you in the Y because you have much more space in the seating area here. And you are also much closer to your passenger than the Y. In the Y, you're a few inches further side to side from your passenger. But the center console and all is the exact same width as the Model Y. And you still have all the great storage space in here. It is not as deep as the Model Y's storage section here in the center console, but it is the same width. So now if we go to the back seat, you're gonna see I have so much legroom here. Look at this. I can really put my legs out as far as I want. The seat is actually very far back in the front right now. I can put it up way more forward. Actually, if I was sitting in the front right now, the seat would be way more forward. I would have at least 5 more inches for my knees. So this is like a worst case scenario with the seat basically very far back. With the front seat very far back, again, I'm 6 foot, 34-inch inseam, and I have tons of room here. I actually feel like I have more room in the back for my head than I do in the front, but I do have this much space between my head hitting the roof glass. So that is another thing to think about, at least back here. But if I scoop my head forward, I have a lot more space for my head. So it really depends on how you sit. So unlike the Model Y Juniper, the rear seats of the Model 3 do not recline back. The Model Y Juniper, the rear seats do recline back about another inch or so. So you're having more upright seating position in the Model 3 in the rear seats. But like I said, you have a ton of room. You can slide over from left to right. You have so much space in the Model 3 Highland. All right, looking at the frunk here, we can see it is not as deep as the Model Y Juniper, but it is the exact same width basically. You still have plenty of space. We have a huge first aid kit backpack here. Nice big sunshade, umbrella, some LED road flares, and there's still more room for more. You could probably fit a very thin carry-on in here, not the wider ones, but in the Model Y Juniper, you can definitely fit a wide carry-on in the frunk. Model 3, you'd probably be able to get away with a thinner one. You know, you do have basically up to here. So like I said, this is a thick backpack. Think of a carry-on maybe a little bit thicker than this. That would most likely fit in here. Lengthwise, definitely depends on the width too. So we actually have quite a big trunk here in the Model 3 Highland. You can see it's very deep, pretty wide actually too. The only annoying thing, which is, of course, it's a sedan, is that you have this short opening here. But you do have the storage bins, which is great. I have the 3W liners in here, like I mentioned in my videos. I love the 3W liners. I have it in my Model Y Juniper and the Model 3 Highland. They are the best all-weather floor mats I've ever used. And they just look so premium, such good quality. They fit perfectly, there's no smell. They're actually running a promotion for all of September. You save 35% off on 3wliners.com with my code FITITGUY. So my usual discount code is 33% off. They upped it to 35% off for you guys for the month of September. So many people ordered them. They're really popular. People love them. I've been happy to see all the great comments of people really enjoying them. My dad loved them. As soon as I put them in here, he's like, wow, these are, you know, better than the WeatherTech, better than the other brands he's seen out there. So they just look so much more premium, and they're not rubber. What I hate about other floor mats is they're rubber. These are not. So they just look like a way more premium material. They're super easy to clean. They stay brand new looking all the time. You can wash them. You can wipe them with interior cleaner and a microfiber cloth. That's what I do because I don't have a hose in my apartment building. So the other thing I did back here was I put in these trunk bins from Arkoshi, just to give us a nice hidden section in the trunk here for the side storage bins there, plus a little cover, so we even give ourselves some more room for the trunk here. So you have a ton of storage space, and the seats, you can fold them. When you fold them, you can really put something big in here. I think honestly, you could probably fit at least a 55-inch TV flat in here. You may even be able to fit a 65-inch TV flat. I was able to fit a 65-inch TV with the box flat into my Model Y Juniper, so I think without a box, you could definitely fit a 65-inch TV straight through here. As long as you put the seats down, it'll definitely be long enough plus wide enough to fit a 65-inch TV. I'd be pretty interested to see that actually if somebody's done it. So inside here, you're gonna notice a couple things. First things first, the mag back phone mount, best mount in the business. This is actually the mount from my previous 2020 Model Y. I'm still waiting for the new mount to come in for this car, but can fit my phone in right there, perfect, charges it, and you can see the wires are completely hidden. I just have to stick this to the back of the screen, but the wires are actually routed through here, and they're completely hidden from sight, and then they plug in back here. You can save on MagBack with my code TFIG15, saves you 15% off. They have some amazing phone cases. I have the Elite case on my iPhone 17 with much stronger magnets than the MagSafe itself, and as a kickstand too. Saves you 15% off the wireless charging MagSafe phone mount or anything on their website. So next I have this screen rotating bracket from Test Studio. This is amazing. I actually didn't like the screen rotating bracket in my Model Y. I felt like it was a little unnecessary because the screen's already, you know, a good distance away from you. But in the Model 3, it actually really gives you like that command center feel with the screen rotating bracket. And then if your passengers on the side, they want to play with the music or something, there we go. So rotate the screen here and it just gives you that nice command center feel. And I don't even have to take my elbow off the armrest to touch the screen. So how cool is that? Because it does bring the screen a couple inches closer to you. So you don't have to extend your hand at all. You can touch whatever you need to, you know, your AC or ventilated seats, whatever. So this is great for just about $100 or just under $100. With my discount code TFIG, you save 25% off on teststudio.com. You can get this screen rotating bracket. I think it's super useful and it just looks super cool too at the same time. So next I have this dash screen from Test Studio. I have one in my Model Y Juniper. Had to have one in the Model 3 as well. Just such a great thing. You have your speedo here, your car, when you put it in drive, you know, we get the same animation that we get on the screen and gives us some useful stuff too. It tells you when you're in autopilot. What I really like is it gives you your battery percentage and your miles till empty right next to each other. So that on the screen here, normally you have to click on it if you want to see your miles till empty or your percentage. Here you have both, so that's pretty cool. You have some other information as well. Your tire pressure, as soon as you move, it gives you your tire pressure. You can see some other statistics here. We do have CarPlay, Android Auto, Miracast, and we have AirPlay too. So you can play whatever you want on this screen if you want to. I'm not saying you should or you shouldn't, but there's that option too. TFIG saves you 25% off on Test Studio. This was very necessary. Again, one of my dad's complaints about this car was that there's no HUD or dash screen. Most people I know in real life that have gotten a Tesla have asked for a dash screen to be put in by me or somebody else. So I've seen a lot of comments of people saying they don't want a dash screen. That's totally fine. You know, everyone has their preferences, but I like a dash screen. My dad likes the dash screen. He uses Waze all the time. He drives a lot. So for Waze, he likes to use Waze. So for CarPlay, you can just have Waze right there on the screen. He can still have his Tesla navigation here if he wants to, if he's using FSD or anything. It just opens you up to some more possibilities, which is great. I have this carbon fiber dash cover here for the fabric cover. So it honestly just sits right on top of the fabric cover with some tape and it looks super nice. Like I said with the Model 3 in my previous video about it, is that unlike the Model Y you have some gray there where the third speaker is on the door. On the Model 3, you just have the white. So they have this light gray fabric piece that doesn't make any sense because there's no other light gray material in the Model 3. In the Model Y, it makes more sense because there's more light gray fabric there. Here, there's not. The other thing I've noticed too with the white interior is it actually extends up into the top of the dash here. On the Model Y, you don't have that. So if you have the white interior, you can see you actually get white all around the front of the dash. It's hard to see and notice at first, but it is there. So that's just another cool thing with the Model 3. And of course we have our 3W liners, like I mentioned, very premium floor mats. They look beautiful and they really protect the interior, especially because the Model 3 doesn't come with carpet floor mats, at least the rear wheel drive version. See you next video and thanks again for watching. So just getting started in the Model 3 here. Personally, just coming from the Model Y, I was driving that the last week and it is a little bit of an adjustment, but because I do like the turn signal buttons, it's not an issue. I do not like the on-screen shifter. But as I said in the video, I just put in the screen tilting bracket and I actually do like it more in the Model 3. It gives you more of that command center feel. And it's really like right there for you to reach without even taking your elbow off of the armrest, as you can see. So just getting into some turns now. We can see just how great the car feels and handles. It's a very fun car to drive. Reminds me of my 1999 Porsche Boxster. That was a very fun car. You can just power out of the turns. You're not getting the body roll that you get in the Model Y. If you want the Model Y to feel this way, you're going to need either lowering springs or a much better aftermarket suspension, and probably lowering springs anyway, just to get rid of some of that body roll. Maybe even some upgraded sway bars as well. But I'm not even trying in the turn right now and keeping up with this Jetta in front of me that Looks like he's trying to go fast, but he's not really going fast at all. Yeah, see, I went to reach with my turn signal stock, but quickly switched to the button. So you can also see that I just put on the carbon fiber dash cover here as well. Looks super nice, blends in very well with the dash. Kind of gets rid of that annoying light gray piece. Another thing to note as well, the car is just super efficient. Right now on this current drive, I'm at 190 watt hours per mile. In the Model Y, I'd probably be at 230 with the way I was driving. We got a very nice turn coming up here. So just going pretty easy into it. And that's just so much fun. It handles it like nothing. In the Model Y, I feel like it'd be carrying so much weight and all that. We have a very nice turn here, up here too. So much fun. This car just really, and again, this is the rear wheel drive and it's handling so well, just tackling every turn like it's nothing. Of course, the electronics on the Teslas are all really good. The stability control, traction control, all of that. So that's stopping you from really kicking out the back end or anything, but you know, you can always turn that off. But yeah, such a fun car. Really enjoying it. And you can see I have another thing I mentioned before is I put the dash screen in here. With the stock steering wheel, the dash screen is a little bit disappointing to have because the wheel covers it up so much. This is perfectly comfortable for where I keep my wheel. I'd have to raise the wheel higher to get the full view of the screen. But I don't mind. I'm seeing the most important thing, which is my tire PSI and my speedometer plus the speed limit sign. So I'm not too worried about that. But it is very nice having a dash in here. My dad really wanted CarPlay in the car for Waze. He uses Waze all the time for work and for normal driving. So with this dash screen, you can put in CarPlay. Personally, I don't use CarPlay at all anymore since getting a Tesla. Driving this car is so seamless. I know on the delivery day video, I said I wouldn't get one of these. But now that I'm actually driving it around a little bit more, it is actually a fun car. I just haven't been in the sedan in so long. I don't remember the last time I actually drove a sedan or any car that wasn't an SUV. I've driven trucks and I've driven SUVs. So now that I'm back in here and actually like comfortable with it, I actually wouldn't mind Model 3. Now that I say it, Model 3 performance would be very fun. But what's crazy about this car is how quiet it is and how comfortable it is. Just super comfortable. I'm just gonna put on FSD. I don't have a destination, but let's do lifetime. I'm headed to the gym right now, so let's see what the car does. It should be turning right up here soon. FSD is great. Like I said in my Model Y Juniper reviews, the FSD with hardware 4 and the new cars is just amazing. It's so smooth. It doesn't even think twice. It doesn't blink twice. It just does its thing. Look at it. I'm gonna take over because this is a nice fun exit ramp here. But yeah, does its thing. Take a nice fast turn here. The speed is amazing. Really amazing in this car. This is the rear-wheel drive. This is basically the slowest, most base version of the car you can get. And it's just so much more it's just so much faster than most of the cars out there. So, a base model, Model 3, you're beating most, you know, Audi A4, stuff like that. Especially off the line. You know, most of the cars that people have that are sporty, or they think they're sporty, you know, around the same price range, you're getting way more efficiency, way more bang for your buck, way more features with this car. So I have a big list here of what my dad said he likes about the car and what he doesn't like. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of read these off and let you know exactly what my dad has to say. The car has just about 400 miles on it now in a week. So my dad did a lot of driving in it, and I want to give you his, because he's camera shy, I'm going to go ahead and give you his thoughts on the car, both his pros and his cons. First things first, he wishes there was a gear shifter in the car. He's driven my previous Model Y so many times. He's driven my Juniper before I put the gear stock in and after I put the gear stock in. He just does not like the on-screen shifter. It takes more time, which is the same thing I said. It's inefficient. You have to fully take your hand off the wheel. With the normal shifter and most other cars, yeah, you have a shifter down on the console, right? I really like the Tesla shifters because they're right there on the wheel. So with one finger, you can go into drive, reverse, or park. I think it's a very efficient shifter. I don't know why they removed it. Same thing for the turn signal stock. One thing I do want to mention is I do like the turn signal buttons. They're great. If you're switching between different cars all the time, the first, minute or two you're driving the Model 3 when you need to use the turn signals, you're gonna forget, you're gonna reach for a turn signal stock, it's not there. But I do like the turn signal buttons because it's so easy to click and cancel. Whereas the Model Y Juniper, I hate how they changed the turn signal stock to a one click each way. So you have to go down and then cancel and back. I explained that in one of my other videos. You can check it out in my 1 month review of the Model Y Juniper. But the turn signal buttons is great. If you're somebody that is constantly switching lanes a lot, you just click again to cancel, click again to cancel. The left turn signal is a little bit lower and more to the left. The right turn signal is a little higher, more to the right. So you just reach for the right, you reach more to the right, you feel that button. For the left, you reach more to the left, you feel that button. I think the placement of the turn signal buttons is great. If this is your only car, you're gonna love having the turn signal buttons. I think if you're switching between different cars, you're going to notice that it is frustrating for the first minute or two, but once you get used to it, you actually appreciate how good the turn signal buttons are. I feel like if Tesla did not do the on-screen shifter, but had shifter buttons on the wheel, that would have been the best case scenario and even better than the gear shifter stock. I think if they wanted to go stockless, they should have mirrored the design of the turn signal buttons and went with gear shifter buttons on the wheel. That way you don't even have to take your thumb off the wheel or anything. Your fingers stay on the wheel and you just shift. Boom, drive, boom, reverse. It would be so smooth, so efficient. With the on-screen shifter, it takes, there's a delay between every shift. So when you swipe it up, that's about half a second to swipe up, another half second for it to register. So you're taking a second to shift into drive, a second to shift into reverse. Whereas with the gear shifter stock, you just tap it with your pointer finger and you're done. It's instant, it's a physical button. So my dad does not like the on-screen shifter. I do not like it as well. Since I put in the gear stock in my Model Y Juniper, I completely forgot about the on-screen shifter. I don't even know it's there. I don't care to use it at all. So we have a gear shifter stock on order for this car. It has not arrived yet, but I will be putting it in and making video about that. And it's a set, so it comes with the turn signal stock as well. My mom likes using a turn signal stock. She doesn't like the buttons, so it's good to have both options as well. But as much as he doesn't like the on-screen shifter, he does like the auto shift function. He loves that when he puts a seatbelt on, presses on the brake, it's already in drive. However, there's been a couple times, because the auto shift is in beta, that he was parked forward in the driveway and wanted to drive into the garage, but the car thought he wanted to reverse. And it put him in reverse as soon as he stepped on the brakes. So it is in beta, it's not perfect, but it is nice to have. I think the auto shift would be great if you didn't have to put your seatbelt on first, but I understand the legality of those things. I usually put my car in gear first and put my seatbelt on as I'm exiting my parking spot or the driveway. So if the auto shift worked without the seatbelt, I would say I would use it more, but I'm already shifting into gear as I get into the car. As my foot's on the brake, I shift, then I get in with my other foot, I close the door, in my Model Y Juniper that is, and then I'm already in drive, and then I put my seatbelt on as I'm exiting my parking spot in my parking garage. So there's that. He does like the auto shift a lot. Same thing, he loves how low and how sporty it is. He said he's been driving the car every day. He loves it more and more every day. He's learning new things about it, learning more about the software. I'll be making a completely separate video of an ultimate guide for the Tesla software, so stay tuned for that. That'll be coming within the next month or so. He loves the side view as well, how sporty it looks from the side, how light and quiet it is. It's a very light car for how heavy it actually is, but it feels light because, again, it's low to the ground. How quiet it is. He says it's just as quiet or even quieter than his Audi Q8, which is amazing to hear. It's quieter than the Lexus and more comfortable than the Lexus NX300 that my parents have. So they say the suspension is way better than the Lexus NX300, which I agree with that. He loves this car so much actually that he's considering selling their Lexus NX300 for a Model Y Juniper. So he converted to a Tesla for the Model 3 and now he wants to get a Model Y as well. That's just how much he loves the car. He loves that he doesn't have to carry a key. So when he goes to the gym or when he goes for a walk in the park, he doesn't have just a big key in his pocket. He loves the fact that he just has his phone and that's it. That's the entry, that's the exit. That is your key into the car. My dad has driven a lot of cars for work over his 30 years. And he says that this car is just as quiet or even quieter than the Bentley that he drove many years ago for work. He also said he likes how this car drives more than the new Model Y Juniper. He's driven my car quite a few times and he loves how this one handles and drives more than the Model Y. The Model Y is bigger, it's heavier, it has a little bit more bounce when you're going over bumps and stuff. This car just feels so planted again, which is great. This was something my mom pointed out, but she loves the side camera views for parking and for parallel parking when they're backing up into the driveway or parking on the street. The side camera views showing you exactly where your tires are in relation to the curb is just amazing. I say the same thing. I think it's the perfect setup for a camera. I loved it on my original Model Y. I love it on the new Model Y Juniper. I love it on this car. Tesla does great with their camera system for reverse and for forward. So this was something my dad said about the Model Y Juniper, was that you can't see the nose of the car from the inside when you're driving. With the Model 3 you can. He likes that. My mom likes it too because she's shorter. She's about 5'3". So when she's driving, she's used to not being able to see the nose of her car in her Lexus. So with this car, she's been driving it a little bit. She likes the fact that she can see the front of the car, the nose of it, so she knows exactly where the front of the car is in relation to the car in front of her or when she's parking. It just makes it easier for her to drive the car. So all in all, I think the Model 3 Highland, I know I said in my first delivery day video that I wouldn't buy one. After driving it a few times this past week now, I can say that actually I would get one. It's changed my mind. I just wasn't used to driving sedans. It's been quite a few years since I've driven a sedan in general, so I just had to get used to the feeling of being in the sedan again. But for being a sedan, for being as small as it is, it actually has a ton of room inside. It's actually quite a long car. I know the Model S is a little bit longer, but this car is quite long. I think it's actually longer than my parents' Lexus NX 300 SUV. So it is a long car, which gives you that leg room both in the front and the rear, as well as the trunk space and the front space. You have a lot of storage space in this car for a sedan, believe it or not. You can go, you can pack a lot of luggage in here. If you're doing a family trip or something, you can fit a few suitcases in there for sure. I think you could fit definitely 3 in the back, a small carry-on in the front here. And there is a little storage section behind the rear seats where the rear trunk glass is. There's a little bit of storage there, so you could throw a couple backpacks up there as well. So you have a lot of storage space in this car too, which is great. So overall, my opinion is this is a great car, a great improvement over the original Model 3. The original Model 3, I've had it as a loaner many times when I brought in my 2020 Model Y for service a few times. That car, I felt squished. I felt like I was in a tight sports car. This car, I don't get that feeling as much. I feel like I'm in a sedan actually. As someone that's taller, 6 foot, like I said, sometimes I hit my head when I was getting in. The first few times I adjusted, so now I just bend down a little bit more when I'm getting in and get out, and I don't hit my head anymore. Because I'm used to the Model Y Juniper, just getting in and out. I don't have to worry about ducking or anything. But other than that, this is a beautiful car, rides amazing. The Tesla software is great. FSD is great. Like I said, FSD is so improved on hardware 4 and on the new generation cars. It is so smooth. My dad loves it as well. A couple times he did have to take over in certain scenarios, but other than that, the car just knows what decision to make, when to make it, and it doesn't second guess it. On the hardware 3 Intel chip first generation cars, the car would constantly second guess itself, not make the right decision. It would hesitate. This car, it's so confident. It just does what it needs to do and it does it for you. And all you do is just have to watch. And all you have to do is sit there and watch and relax. It's really your own personal chauffeur. So Model 3 Highland, 2 thumbs up. If I only had to get one car for all my everyday needs, I would still go with the Model Y Juniper just because I do end up having to store a lot of stuff in my car. From time to time, I'm either taking in a few friends or I need to use a lot of trunk space. So Model Y Juniper for me. If I had the option for 2 cars, I'd definitely get a Model 3 Highland for fun. And it's actually very practical, like I said, and have the Model Y Juniper as the second car. You get the best of both worlds. You have something fun, sporty. If you want to take some nice turns or you just want to be low to the ground, a little bit more efficient than the Model Y Juniper, like I said. A little bit of a smaller battery as well, so this car will actually cost you less long-term to charge than the Model Y Juniper. It's probably, you know, maybe 10 to 15% less, but it is something to consider as well if you're charging at home or charging at superchargers. So overall, I think this is a great car. You cannot go wrong with it. If you are thinking of getting a Tesla, the tax credit ends September 30th. There are some cars in inventory. If you get one in inventory, sometimes you can get one with a discount and you'll get them much faster than ordering a new car. If you order a new car, I know there's probably about a 2-week wait right now, depending on your configuration. If you get one in inventory at a local Tesla service center, you can bypass all that and have your car within the same day to a week. So you can check out my Tesla referral code below. It'll get you 3 free months of full self-driving, which is a $315 value. And you get 1 month of premium connectivity as well. So if you order one, make sure to use my referral code. I really appreciate it. Check out 3W Mats. Like I said, 35% off if you're getting a Model 3, or even if you're getting a Model Y, which comes with carpet mats. Just get the all-weather mats. We're getting into fall and winter here soon. It's been raining a lot here lately, so the all-weather mats came in handy. And the carpet mats, I don't think I'm ever going to use them again. Honestly, I just have them in storage right now. I've always loved carpet mats, but after switching to the 3W liners, floor mats, they just look so premium in the car and really enhance the interior of the car. So thanks for watching, guys. I'm uploading videos every other day. I have my 2-month review of the Model Y Juniper coming up very soon, so be sure to check out for that. Doing a lot of modifications to this car, a lot of modifications to the Model Y Juniper as well, adding in a lot of accessories and products, so stay tuned for that. I just have so many things coming, so please make sure you subscribe. It really helps out the channel. I see about 90% of you people watching the channel are not subscribed, so please subscribe. Like I said, it really helps out, allows me to bring more videos for you guys. I'm doing this to give you all DIY look into how to put in these products and accessories into your car, these modifications, what benefits they provide, and let you guys see, you know, what is possible with these cars. These cars, when you get them, they're a blank slate. You can leave them blank or you can customize them the way that you like. So that yours stands out from the rest of the crowd now that a lot of people have Teslas. So